Welcome, everyone, to the Sporting Cast podcast. I am your host, Lucas Red, and in just a few short moments, we'll have our next guest. Our guest is from Chesterton, Indiana, my hometown. He is the quarterback of the high school team, originally started his collegiate career at the University of Indianapolis, and is now playing at St. Francis. Chris is a quarterback at heart, but this season he adjusted to his new role playing tight end. We're excited to have Chris and talk about his journey from getting to high school to college and sharing about his position change. Welcome, everybody, to episode 5 of the Sporting Cast podcast. On episode 2, we had Chris's older brother, Nick, and on episode 5, we have Chris Mullen here. St. Francis University, quarterback and tight end. Chris is happy to join the show today. A big game on Saturday. Chris, how are you today, my man?
Doing great. Feeling good. We had a good practice today, getting ready for our playoff game, hosting a playoff game in Fort Wayne. So that's big for our program, and we're excited to host them.
You guys can catch Chris and St. Francis playing number 18 seed Evangel University on Saturday at noon Eastern time up in Fort Wayne. How's the preview of the game looking? I know you don't want to go much too into the scouting report, but what do you guys? What's the goal? Obviously, past winning.
Our biggest goal this week is just be physical. Which we have been all season, but continue to do that. We like what we've seen on film, and we're putting that stuff in this week. And tomorrow's our last day of practice for our walkthrough, so we're sharpening all that up tomorrow and keeping what we like, throwing away what we don't like. But we've been rolling on offense, which is we kind of started the year slow. We'd start each game like first half we'd find ourselves in a hole, and it wasn't the defense. It was just the offense was slow. We put our defense in bad positions, which is what it is, and we kind of have figured that out after we lost to our rival. We got our butts kicked against our rival, which didn't go, I don't think, how anybody thought it would go. We lost 49-0. And after that game, we won 4 straight against a couple of really good teams. At a couple of their team spots they're hard to win at. So, our offense has been rolling, and we're ready to rock and roll. Our team's firing on all cylinders for sure.
Have you guys played with a chip on your shoulder since then?
I think so, and it's a big deal to go into your rivals. We played 5 homecoming games in a row. One of those was at our rival's place, and we go in there, we lose 49-0. It's a big turning point in our season. And then we go and play another tough game the next week. If we go into that next game and lose, our season's probably over. So it's big that we went in there. It was 27-28. They had just scored on with like 13 seconds ago, I think, and they went for 2 against our defense. Our defense is tough, and we stopped them. So we won 28-27 at St. Xavier, which is a tough place to play, against a good team. And that was a turning point of our season, I think. We all stuck together as a team, brothers, coaches, everyone included. And then we come out and beat a ranked Olivet Naz team and then continue to win. That is what solidified us in the playoffs, which is huge. So
St. Francis is off to a high-powered octane offense, averaging just about 35 points a game. Chris has 43 receptions, about 546 yards, and 11 total touchdowns. 7 receiving, 4 rushing from the big man. So, Chris, very unique story for you. Obviously, I grew up with you, with your older brother Jack and Nick. You start off at Chesterton High School, and you had a great high school career playing quarterback. You shift over to Indy to start your collegiate career, and then you found yourself at St. Francis. Take me back to high school, talk about your journey and how you got to where you are right now.
Well, first off, last night I was thinking, I was like, what are all my memories with Lucas Red? And the one that sticks out to me the most this just like represents you as a person. I remember I can't remember what the place was, but it was in New Buffalo it's a restaurant in New Buffalo, and you were with our family, and I fell face first into the sand, and I had sand in my eyes and in my mouth, and literally without even thinking, you took off your shirt off your own back and gave it to me to wipe my face. So I don't know if I ever said thank you for that, but thank you, and that just represents you as a person. So we do go back, and I know you kept up with me and all my brothers during high school sports. So, yeah, going back to high school, I mean, started off, I got thrown into the fire freshman year with a struggling Chesterton football team. Due to some injuries, I got to play, which in return definitely helped me going into my sophomore year.
Mm-hmm.
Our best year was probably our sophomore year. We had a couple, Ben, I know you're same grade as Garrett Slackoff, so his younger brother Ben, and Jake Warren and Gunnar Burkhardt and Bryce Pickering. We had a very solid receiving core, and we lost. The story of Chesterton football is can't win a sectional, which is hard, is a tough pill to swallow. So we never won that in football throughout my career there, but we had a bunch of good games, built lifelong friends with players and coaches. And then, as you know, basketball, that's kind of this kind of leads into my recruiting and college football is like Coach Urban and that team really molded me as a human and as a winner of learning how to win, because, I mean, we won games at football. We never won any championships, and that's one thing that Coach Urban talks about a lot from during my whole senior year in the summer, in the fall. I wasn't with him in the fall because of football, but that's one thing he stresses, like, we gotta figure out and learn how to win games. And if you can figure out how to win games, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously it matters how talented you are, but if you can figure it out, if you're in a fourth quarter fight, whoever figures out how to win is gonna be able to come out on top. So, yeah, I mean, that shaped me as a athlete in general. And then for the recruiting process, honestly, I didn't know really anything about Division II football. Like, I guess I was just kind of in the mindset of like, oh, there's only Division I football. I mean, I don't know. That's just, I was ignorant to all the other levels. And UND is a very, very good program. I didn't really know that, but Coach Snyder, who was at Chesterton for a long time and went and coached at VU and then came back, he really got me set up with the recruiting process, and he had a connection at UND, and it worked out great. And I remember sitting down in Coach Keever's office when I was a senior with my mom and getting the scholarship offer, and it was just like, I didn't realize it then, but that's a really special moment and cool moment, especially to have with my mom. And then I remember after that, they do it a little different at UND. It's like you get 1 week to pretty much decide your next 4 years, which is what it is. Some people like it, some people don't, but that's besides the point. And I ended up deciding to go there, I think, a day later. So, and I love my time there. That also shaped me as a player and an athlete. I mean, I went in there having hip surgery. I tore my hip labrum senior year of football, and then I got hip surgery. After the state championship in basketball. And side note to that, sorry, go ahead.
So the only thing I was going to say is, if you guys recall from episode 2 with Nick's podcast when he was coaching that team, Chris was the starting center on that team, led the team to a 29-0 start, finished the state championship with a loss, overall 29-1 season. Really a magical season from a Northwest Indiana, Chesterton resident, but it was fun to follow you guys. You guys played a lot of good talent. Flory Badunga of Kansas is one that always sticks out to me. Xavier Booker now at UCLA. I know you had Jake Davis, who's now playing at Illinois. Yeah. And then there's a point guard.
Tibbs,
yes.
Yeah.
I know his dad a little bit, actually.
I can't remember the point guard's name. He was at Eastern Kentucky, and then
he's at Nevada now. I just saw his dad last week because his dad ran into him in Indianapolis. But yeah, very loaded squad. So
they had another dude go to Valpo, and then a receiver that plays for Purdue. So they were a little more physically gifted than the old Chesterton boys. But I mean, that's kind of what the physical gifts was not what carried us throughout the season at all. We were definitely out talented a bunch. But like I said, Coach Urban he's a leader of men, and I would still do anything for that guy. He taught me how to win, how to be a better person, be a better man. And he gave me one of the greatest gifts ever was my brothers on the coaching staff. And I got to experience all that with literally a blood brother, which I consider all those guys my brothers on that team, but like a blood brother is just like, I love my two brothers more than a lot of things, and probably more than everything. But besides my mom. But yeah, it's just a cool experience to have with that. And like me and Nick's iPhone, whatever, the picture on
profile
it, like,
picture.
text me.
Yeah.
Is a picture of me and him hugging each other after semi-state. Like, it's just, like, we'll talk about that forever. So it's a cool experience to have with him.
How do you think?
But side note off that, when I had found out that I tore my hip labrum and the doctor said I should get surgery because I was young, me and my dad scheduled it for the Wednesday after the state championship, but we scheduled it back in November. So I was like, he's like, well, you just want to do it. I was like, no, like, we're going. So
you had that mindset that you guys were going to go to that game, and it was awesome.
And a lot of the guys on our team did, and that's kind of what willed us to the there. So,
do you think that atmosphere of playing at Bankers Life, which is where the Pacers and the Indiana Fever play, do you think that kind of gave you a different sense of competition and just being in that type of atmosphere? I mean, you played in high school football games to this point. You played in good basketball games at this point. What was that experience just playing in that stadium like?
I mean, the whole season, like, playing at Cheshire when we played Valpo, it's sold out on Wednesday, and then playing at Lafayette Jeff during semi-state, like, and then playing where legit NBA players play is, like, unreal, especially as a 17, 18-year-old kid. I mean, with your best friends. It's unbelievable, and it definitely, when we're playing in the national championship for St. Francis down in Texas, it'll give me a little bit of an advantage for sure.
Awesome. So you get to UIndy. You were there for 2-3 years. Talk to me about that experience.
So I got there. I had hip surgery, so I got there and I was recovering from that. So I played scout team my freshman year, and then due to an injury, I was the backup towards the end of the year. And after that, the next year they brought in two transfers. Played scout team again, and then junior year I was the backup, and I had gained some weight because they told me to gain weight. I don't want to bash anybody, but
yeah, just at the time the goal is to gain weight. Yeah, not bashing, just
right,
the
so
reality.
I gained a bunch of weight, and then I was killing everybody, and we do these like morning conditionings, and so I was smoking everybody, which I would tell that to their face, all the guys that I played against. So, and they know that.
That's the youngest brother syndrome in you, by the way. You know,
100%,
anytime
100%.
he was with his two older brothers, he made it known that, you know, if he was winning in that moment, Chris had that chip on his shoulder, which I like about you.
So, I think I got up to like 230, which is the heaviest I've ever been, and then during the May of 2020, they wanted me to lose it again, and naturally I lost it. That was a tough time for the family after that spring. So I lost some weight. I dropped down to like 205, 210, and then I was the most athletic I've been, played backup junior year, and I just wanted to get on the field. Like, I enjoyed playing quarterback, but I really just wanted to get on the field because, like, going back to basketball, the way I play basketball is different from how a quarterback, I think, would play basketball. So, and that is showing now at tight end, like, just not your typical way I think a quarterback would, which...
No, I agree, but I agree with you, but tell me about that. Like, your style of quarterbacking where we were in high school, it was usually more of a run high school. You come in, you're throwing the ball, slinging it down the field.
Right.
Usually the mantra is, you know, you're going to come in and try to be a main scorer of the basketball team. That wasn't necessarily you. Talk to me about the role that you embraced in high school and how that may have impacted you to where you are today.
I think that, like you said, like being a main scorer, that was never me playing basketball. Although I might take credit for being the best shooter in the Mullen family. Maybe not right now, but in my prime, I would say. But I remember I would pass up so many shots. Coach Urban sat me down and was like, dude, you're being selfish for not shooting enough because you're hurting your teammates because people don't have to guard you. So towards my senior year, I mean, I think I averaged like 6 points or whatever, but it was more than 0 like my sophomore year. So, but I prided myself on hustling, playing 110%. That's something that my dad always told us before games, play 110%. And then just playing good defense and being a leader of the team and keeping everyone together, because in the end, I mean, we had a bunch of talented guys. Like, for high school basketball, we had a bunch of talented guys that could play. And one of them's still playing right now, Spring Arbor, Travis. He's a really good player, still is. So that was
lost out Mr. Basketball.
Just,
he lost out Mr. Basketball to Braden Smith that year, right?
Yeah, and Braden Smith, obviously a great player, but, I mean, when you lead your team, your small-town team, to a 29-1 season, it's hard to argue against that, but it's all right. So he's great, and I think that's just a big thing in sports. Like, people got to find their own role, or find their role and bring value in whatever role they have. So my role wasn't to score 25 a game. It was to score 6 and get 8 rebounds and play as hard as I possibly can and die for every ball. So I think that's something that's lost, kind of, playing your role and finding value in that.
So you decide to make a change. You go from UIndy to St. Francis. Talk to me about how you decided on St. Francis and what you're doing right now with the position change.
I was just talking to our head coach about that today, because we were in today, and I remember one of my buddies from UIndy had went to St. Francis, and I was good friends with him. And so as soon as I hit the portal, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to put you in contact with our head coach." Great. Called me either that night or the next day and was like, "Hey, we want to get you up here. Here's the deal. We have our starters coming back. He got hurt in the last game of the year. So you're going to be in a competition." And I remember sitting in his office. I was like, "Hey, if I don't win the job, can I play other positions? Like, I just want to get on the field and help the team." He's like, "Yeah, 100%, but focus on trying to win the job." I was like, "Sweet." So go through the spring, and I was playing quarterback because he was recovering. He's my roommate, actually. We're one of my really good friends here. He was recovering from a knee injury, and so I was playing quarterback. And then over the summer, we didn't have enough guys at well, let me go back to – so I went on a visit in early December, and then I got home for Christmas break. And I was like, "Mom, I really want to just call Coach Sherman and be like, hey, I'm coming." But she's like, you should go to one other school, just see what it's like. And Coach Snyder, again, he got me hooked up with St. Xavier, who is in our conference. So we went there. And then literally on the way home, I was like, "Mom, I'm not going there. I'm calling Coach Sherman to tell him I'm coming." So that was pretty cool. And I just felt like, I mean, I'm here for a reason. And I think God guided me here to be around all these people, and it's bigger than just football.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And so over the summer, we were doing 7-on-7. We didn't have enough guys to play receiver, so I just lined up out there. I was like, I can run, I can catch, whatever. We played backyard football a million times. And our coach was out there, and he's like, it's not too bad. And so, yeah, he was just like, "Hey, how would you feel about playing tight end for this year?" And I was like, "That's fine with me. Let's do it."
You're on the field.
Yeah, right. And I'm a big believer of, like, I trust Coach Sherman with all my heart. So I'm a big believer he's not going to guide me in the wrong direction. So I trusted him, and, I mean, it's worked out for us. We're 9-2 and going into the playoffs. So, I mean, can't complain.
What do you think the mindset, and how do you think you reacted to just changing the positions, right? Like, it takes a certain ego to do that. I mean, to your point, you just wanted to be on the field, but was it something that it was a tough pill to swallow when he said your roommate was going to be the starter?
I mean, initially I was just like, dang, like, I felt like I was coming here. I felt like I was playing really good football.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, coming here gave me a new relationship with God that I never had before. And you just got to realize that he's got a plan for everybody. And he knows it. You just got to figure out the steps to it.
Mm-hmm.
And whether that's, like, me getting moved from quarterback to tight end is such a minor thing in life. Like, I can just take that head on, and it's going to be great. Make the most out of whatever situation you're in. So.
And there's definitely, I totally agree. At the end of the day, if that's the worst thing that happens this year, I think that's a pretty good year, right? And, we both faced adversity with our dads, and, football and sports have challenged us all, and it's really cool to see that you've embraced that, and you're not just playing it, though, but you're finding success doing that as well.
Yeah, and like I said, it brings me back to basketball days of like I'm wearing our team shirt right now. It's grit is our motto, and each letter means something. But like the word grit also means something, and just getting gritty. And like I'm not the right weight to be tight end, but I put my hand in the dirt and I got to go up against the defensive ends because that's what I'm supposed to do. So I think that it's a lot of fun to face a new challenge.
Now, I don't know if you're able to share this, but are your goals for next season to continue at tight end, maybe put on some weight, or maybe explore going back to quarterback? Or is it too soon to tell?
Well, yeah, I'm not really worried about that right now because we're still playing.
Smart.
But I'm sure after, Christmas break when we celebrate our national championship and do all that, I'll have a sit down with Coach Sherman and know. But I'm definitely looking to put on some weight because, us Mullen boys are we always struggle to do that. So it's a long battle of just eating. So I'm definitely looking to do that a little bit.
I call your oldest brother the pogo stick, so thankfully you have some more muscle than he does. But
he's getting skinny in his old age.
So, Chris, about your journey, very cool way to adapt. I know you've mentioned your family before, your coaches as well. Do you want to just provide some more insight on them and how they've made an impact on your career, and as well as anybody else for that matter?
Yeah, obviously my two parents, I didn't play. My sophomore year freshman and sophomore year I played in one game, and they made the trip to every single game. Besides we played in Kansas, which was 20 hours away from Jefferson. And they made the trip to every single game. Junior year, same thing. My mom made the trip along with my grandpa. It's just like the support system is something that I hope one day I can provide a fraction of that to my future kids. And so I give credit to my mom for that. I call her multiple times a day just to say hello, and I don't know what I would do without her and my grandpa. And then my two brothers, Jack and Nick, they, like I said, they mean the most to me. Jack gives me advice more for the business and school aspect of things, and as well as sports. But like I said, with me and Nick being able to share our experience with Coach Urban, he sometimes will remind me, be like, hey, like I still use a lot of the stuff that Coach Urban has taught us, and Nick will be like, hey, be there to remind me, like, hey, like keep it up, stay above the line, keep up to your standard. And so we have a really special relationship and are very fortunate to have each other, I think, and those are my rocks right there, as well as the coaches that I've had too.
So you guys have a game on Saturday. You're ready to rock and roll. What do you see? I don't want to jump past this game, right? You guys have a season and a national championship at the NAIA division on your site, but what are your goals with football down the road, and what do you think you do beyond football? Do you want to get into coaching? Do you want to, is that something that's crossed your mind?
It has crossed my mind, and I don't think that I would like to get into coaching because I think if I was going to coach something, I'd like to coach basketball. Mm-hmm. It's hard to be a football coach, and not that I'm not up for a challenge, but I think that I would like doing basketball more. But as far as after football, like I said, God's got a plan for everybody, and I think that He's spoken to me through my dad and made me realize how important my family is. Mm-hmm. So wherever my family goes, I think is where I'll go. Whether that's Green Bay or hopefully not California, but hopefully semi-close to Chesterton, because we have some ties there. And but I love seeing my family. I love seeing my brothers and my mom. So I think being close to them, like being able to have a Sunday dinner with them every week would be awesome, and being able to watch each other's families grow is something that I don't particularly want to miss. But if God's got a different calling for that, then it's how it goes. But I think that just gonna finish out this year, finish out my college, and see what happens. Not really too sure.
Yeah, it's more fun that way anyway. Don't grow up. What advice do you have for people going from high school to college and then embracing change, right? you had I would say that's a substantial change, changing positions and succeeding at it. How do you advise people to be open to that to make an impact on the field?
I think that it's very, very difficult to come in and make a difference, or not make a difference, but come in and start as a true freshman at any level. Like, we have a true freshman running back that's starting, and he's incredible. And it's hard to do that at an NAI level, let alone Division I Power 4. So some advice I would say is just stick with it. Your time's going to come. And then, like I was talking about earlier, just finding value and how you can bring value in the role that you're in. Like, I was a signaler at UIndy, and I think I tried to be the best signaler I could be, even though it was hard. It was hard to keep a positive attitude sometimes because I'm not going to get into the coaches there, but seeing other people being able to play and being happy, and it's like, obviously those guys are my buddies, and I'll be buddies with them forever. So seeing them succeed was kind of something that kept me going, and it was hard. Selfishly, it was hard to see everyone be having so much fun playing, and there's only one quarterback that plays, so it's tough. But just keep your head down and keep working, and eventually you're going to shine through whatever dirt that is covering you up.
Awesome. Couple random questions for you, kind of current events. NFL, I know you're a Bears fan.
That's right.
Do the Bears win the division, and who wins the Super Bowl this year?
I'm a terrible NFL fan. I like watching the Bears when it's convenient for me. I've watched more UIndy women's soccer games this year than Bears games because they both play on Sundays, so I'll drive down to watch my girlfriend play. Going back to my support system. She comes up to watch all my games, and I try and get to as many as I can with her. So, like, that's something that my parents have instilled in me, and I think she's great about doing that.
Smart man, by the way. Smart man.
The Bears, huh?
Smart man. Way to give the lady a shout out.
Yeah. I think that the Bears are going to win the division, and the Bears are going to win the Super Bowl because I don't know who else is going to be good in the NFL.
Kool-Aid is not being drank, anybody. Who's the best golfer of you and your brothers?
Golfer? Oh. So if we're playing, like, Jack has got the lowest handicap, but that doesn't mean he's the best golfer. So if we're playing, like, a game where handicaps are equal, that's me.
There you go.
Because they don't have the competitive edge that I have. And they're not able to get into each other's heads like me. Like,
it's the younger brother syndrome that you do.
You're my favorite caddy.
Hey, it works. It works for them sometimes. But
I don't know. I think outright I'll have to give it to Jack. But
you're better than Nick.
Competitive edge. I think so.
Okay, that's where we're going to need to settle the debate because he also gave to Jack, but he thinks he's better than you. But
he golfs way more than me too, which is like if you're practicing more, you're going to be better. But
no,
I think I'm better.
Chris, thank you very much for sharing your story. Embracing change, I think, is very hard, not just for athletes, but for people in general. I admire you for not only changing universities, but also changing positions and trying to make a positive impact. Appreciate you coming on here. Good luck the rest of the postseason. And, maybe next year at this point, maybe we're talking again, and whether it's a position change again or any current updates from that standpoint, and more than happy to have you back on.
Sweet. Sounds good. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Everyone, feel free to like and subscribe and share below. Thank you very much and have a great day.